Hi everyone, this is Niki Rowland and today I am making a layout for Shimmerz paints. This month, October, we are running a colour challenge, an autumn colour challenge, where each member of the design team chooses one colour that we don't normally use or that's slightly out of our comfort zone, and we are creating a layout based on that colour as our predominant colour. And the idea behind this is to make us use things that perhaps are slightly outside our comfort zone yeah, just to try new things, grow as designers. So my chosen colour is called Steely Blue Eyes and it's an Inklingz. It's a really dark navy that's why I've kind of shied away from it in the past, because it is very intense and it is very dark. I really love navy. It's one of my favourites, so therefore I thought I would attempt to use it for this layout. So I have used the packaging technique, as you just saw, to apply 4 large areas of Steely Blue Eyes onto my background, and I've done it in a vertical shape, and then I've come back in with 2 other colours as well, just so that my background has a little bit of tone variety. So I've also used Oaky Bear Blue, which is an Inklingz, and Blue Lagoon, which is also an Inklingz. So I've just used those 3 colours to create this background. Obviously the predominant colour is the Steely Blue Eyes, a really dark navy, I've used that as the majority of the background, and I won't use the other 2 colours at all for the rest of the layout, just the dark navy Steely Blue Eyes. So I'm just adding lots and lots of splatters in the same 3 colours around the same areas. So where I have Steely Blue Eyes, I've added splatters of Steely Blue Eyes. Where I have Blue Lagoon, I've used splatters of Blue Lagoon. And where I've used Oaky Bear Blue, I've used splatters of Oaky Bear Blue. So that's what I've done there. That's my background. And now I'm coming in with some stamps. So I have these cool little texture stamps from Hip Kit, and I am applying the Steely Blue Eyes ink paint onto the stamp. Now I'm not using it on an acrylic block, as you can see, and that's because I don't want the entire pattern to be placed onto the layout. I only want parts of it, so I'm just kind of wrapping it around my finger and I'm applying it onto the layout that way. But say I've used quite a thick consistency of the Steely Blue Eyes Inklingz to paint directly onto my stamp, and then I've picked up my stamp and stamped it onto my layout. You don't get all the detail that you would get if you used an ink pad, because obviously an ink pad is very different consistency to a wet paint, but you get the effect, a pretty good effect. It's not bad. I found that the best thing to do is to stamp off first, so that you get rid of the majority of the ink or paint, that's left on your stamp, and then when you stamp for the second time, that's when you get the detail. So a good little tip there. So I'm just kind of letting my background dry. I used 3 different stamps on that background, and I'm just letting that dry, and now I'm going to put the rest of my layout together. So I have just put a few layers of paper, 2 layers of paper behind my photo. It's a birthday photo when I took my little baby to a cake smash photo shoot. It was great fun. The 2 bigger kids came too, and we all had lots of cake, and it was very messy, and we had a really great day. So this photo is from that, I have just layered up 2 layers of dark navy paper, and then I'm adding in a lighter blue journaling card and then a white journaling card with a blue flower wreath or leaf wreath on it as well. I've also just added a little bit of vellum underneath my photo to the right of my photo, just to add a different bit of texture really. I like the way the vellum sits on top of the mixed media background, makes the background look softer in that area. So I've not completely covered it with vellum, just that small area, I really like that look, and I've torn the vellum as well. And so it just gives a different texture and a different look, and softens whatever it goes over. So yeah, it's a nice medium to use on a layout, most definitely. Okay, so I am just adding some clear stickers. So I had these clear stickers, they're Pretty to Studio, and they have got these watercolour kind of stains on them. So I've put a few of those over my background, and you can see that blob to the bottom left of my photo has kind of extended my mixed media section a little bit there. It does really blend in well. It does look like I have done that in mixed media, but I haven't. It's just a sticker. And I'm just pulling out some other bits to add to this layout. Those wooden hearts, wood veneer hearts, and a couple of dots from Shimmerz. So the multicoloured dots, very intense dots. I don't know what the name of the set is, but the blue and purple one and the green one I added at the top. I actually removed the green one in the end because the green didn't really go with the layout at all. So yeah, and I just flirted with some thickers there for a moment, thinking about my title, but in the end I decided to put them to one side for now and come up with the title later. So I'm now wanting to add a bit more to my layout before I turn it in, finish it off really, because I can just put lots of little bits and pieces on, but actually I wanted to have some bigger layers. So I've pulled out these chipboard shapes. They are just naked chipboard. They're by a company called Lime Citron, and they go 2 in a pack, a big one and a small one of the same design, and I cut the big one in half and I'm just sticking that to the layout, one bit at the the bottom left of my photo and bottom right of my photo, and one at the top left, and then I've used the smaller one to go around the butterfly sticker that I've put in as well. So now that they're stuck down, I'm now going over with the Shimmerz Steely Blue Eyes, and I am painting them. So these have painted really, really well. The really shimmery effect of the Inklingz Steely Blue Eyes really shows through. So when you look at them in real life, you probably can't see it too well on the camera, but when you look in real life, they have a really lovely, beautiful shimmer to them. And all that brown chipboard colour is completely gone. You can't see any of it at all. It's all this beautiful rich navy. So I literally just took a really tiny paintbrush, because these pieces are quite thin, and painted over it directly out of the pot. So I've got a small amount of water sitting in there, which has activated my paint, and it's just a really quite a thick consistency, and that's why I've got such great coverage, I think, because I have got quite a thick consistency of paint there. So I really love these big swirls on there. They look awesome, don't they? So I'm just coming in with a little bit of black and white paper. I felt that this layout needed a pop of black and white, so I've just put that in there, added a flare badge, and now I'm going to fussy cut out 3 of these Vicky Boutin hearts. So I had quite a bit of the Vicky Boutin Colour Kaleidoscope collection. I know we've moved on to Wildflower and Honey now, but I'm still stuck in the past using the Colour Kaleidoscope. It's awesome. And I'm just putting out a few bits and pieces that I've got left over from that collection to use on this layout. So I've got some stickers, I've got some ephemera, I've got those 3 hearts that I fussy cut out, and then these are the chipboard phrase thickers or icon thickers from that collection, and they had all these black and silver numbers, so they went from 1 to 9 and then 0 to, but I have just used numbers 0 to 7, and I thought the numbers went really well because this is a birthday layout, obviously a milestone. If I thought about it properly, I should have gone up to number 8 because my daughter is 8, so it would have gone from 1 to 8. Which would have been their ages, but I just wanted the numbers there to kind of represent the birthday changing in time, that kind of thing. So I thought the numbers were really good, and I'm just sticking all of those in place because the sticky on these chipboard thickers doesn't always stay in place all the time. So I've added a butterfly from that thicker set too, and all those numbers, and there's a little silver heart that's from that set, and a little silver star that I've got at the top also from that set. So just sticking all of those in place to make sure they don't wander off my layout at a later date. And I'm sticking my blue hearts down as I go as well. They're just paper hearts, so I've stuck them down with foam pads and kind of folded them a little bit at each edge to get them to stand out a little bit, to have some dimension. And I've also put some stickers on them as well. They say celebrate top 10 and note to self. And now I'm coming in with another one of the dots. So I had to lose the green one because it really didn't go with the very blue and black tones of the layout. So, but that white one with the scribbled black heart on it was perfect, so that was a much better choice. So I've found a place for that on the layout and stuck that down. I'm now coming in with my wood veneer hearts, and I'm putting those on in the naked wood colour, and I'm obviously going to paint those with the fabulous Inklingz Steely Blue Eyes as well. So again, I have a real tone on tone, or a real monochrome, if you like, layout on the go here. It's all very much tones of blue and navy even, and some black as well. The wood veneer paints really beautifully with the Shimmerz Inklingz paints, because the tone of the consistency of the Inklingz and the Creamies paints can be very thick. It gives you a really lovely rich covering colour. So yeah, a really good way of using your paints there as well, not just to put onto the background of your layout, but also to paint things with too. And I say it paints chipboard and wood veneer really well. So now I'm coming in with my title. I had to think about my title because I basically should have put my title in earlier, but because I couldn't think of a title that I was happy with earlier, I moved on and decorated my layout, but then of course there was no room for my title. So I had to really think about it. I've gone for You Take the Cake, because that's what we were doing, definitely eating lots of cake, and I have managed to find a place for it. So the U and the take are at the top of the layout, and then the sits on top of that fabulous dot, and the word cake just sits below. So all of those aren't particularly sticky, so I'm sticking them all down with glossy accents to make sure that I don't lose any of my letters at a later date. I really hate it when letters fall off when your layouts are in albums and you find this whole pile of alphabet stickers at the bottom of the page protector. That's really annoying. So I normally either stitch my letters in place these days, or I stick them with glossy accents, and I've obviously gone for the second option on this layout. Okay, so that's pretty much me done, other than I want to add in some sequins. So I have a few fabulous sets of sequins by Spiegelmum, and I'm just sticking those in place now. This one's called Total Corners. It's an older collection now, older set now, but it's one of my favourite ones. It's really boy-y, and even though this is not a boy layout at all, I suppose it is, because he's a boy, my little baby's a boy, but my girl's in the photo as well, and it's birthday themed, not boy themed, but that set really went perfectly well with this layout, so that's what I've used, and that really is me done now. I'm going to call it done and leave it there before I add anything else. So thank you so very much for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed the colour challenge, and maybe give it a go yourself and share it on the Shimmerz Shares group. We'd love to see what you create. So okay, so that was Niki Rowland for Shimmerz Paints. Don't forget, if you place an order via the Shimmerz website, please place my name in the comments and you will receive a freebie. Happy scrapping!